I'm on the southern tip of Sri Lanka and the UNESCO-listed Galle Fort. And behind the walls of this fort is the city's old print shop that's been lovingly converted into one of the city's best designed hotels. Today, I'll show you how history and luxury blend so well together here. Hey there, I'm Don, and I'm on a mission to find the world's coolest places to stay, and I hope inspire your next vacation. I was in Galle 20 years ago, and back then this fort was decaying and felt forgotten. Coming back now, it's kind of shocking. It's evolved from a ruin into a hodgepodge of interesting bars and restaurants, with a few boutique shops thrown in. Add in the layers of history and you've got something kind of special, charming and not overrun with tourists. And that's rare. As soon as I step off the slightly chaotic streets of Galle and into Fort Printers, there's an immediate shift. I'm traveling with my sister, and as we walk past this building's original printing press, the noise of the fort disappears and is replaced by a calm music and the smell of cinnamon, as we're welcomed by these two women in flowing robes. This doesn't feel like a hotel lobby. It feels like walking into an art collector's home. Next, we're escorted into the bar/welcome area behind the lobby for a cold drink and a few check-in formalities. This old print house was restored by a husband and wife team, and the library here is a great example of how they approached the project. I think a lot of renovations try too hard to hide the age of the building, but here they've exposed the bones of the old print shop while layering in modern pieces, and it all works together really well. Functional, understated, and classy. Our room's upstairs in the main building, where the floorboards do creak a bit, and these massive shutters and curved windows remind me that I'm in a historic building. All of it feels authentic to the building's Dutch roots. This building started life as a Dutch merchant's mansion before it became a printing house. Then it was a school, and all the rooms on this floor are a nod to that part of the building's history. As I walk into my room, the theme continues. Refined, elegant, this antique four-poster bed, and I think my favorite part is the ceiling with the exposed beams. Back downstairs, there's a small wine bar and a bistro that opens up into this courtyard space, the heart of the hotel. Sure, you probably won't be swimming laps down here, but it is a nice place to have a drink or maybe just read a book. Off the pool area, there are two more wings with rooms grouped together. A great option for groups or families who might want to have their own private space. If you want even more separation, there's an annex across the street. It feels less like a hotel wing and more like an art gallery. If I were coming back with a group of friends, I think this is where I'd want to stay. After years in the corporate world, making hard decisions, I became averse to wasting time and money. I think travel advice is broken, so I'm channeling my OCD into trying to fix it. Vetting the world's best hotels so you don't arrive halfway around the world wondering why your resort looks nothing like the website. If you agree that life's too short for a bad vacation, book through us and get the perks you can't get if you book yourself. This restaurant here is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're going out for dinner tonight, but I'll test drive the hotel's restaurant in the morning. This morning, I'm a little disappointed. It's really not that early, but all the lights downstairs are off, and a little music would be nice too. But now that I've properly terrorized the staff, we've got the lights on, bit of music going, and it all makes for a nice breakfast venue. I have a feeling the staff here are not morning people. In terms of the highs here, I really like the design, especially in the restaurant and lounge spaces. I think they've done a great job preserving the history of the building, but adding in all these modern touches. And I really like the vibe here. When we arrived, the music and the smells were just about perfect. But speaking of vibe, there was no vibe in the morning. All the lights were off, and that was kind of disappointing. Also, it can be really loud at night, with the bar across the street playing live music. It ended around 10-ish, but up until then it was kind of unbearable. Also, over a 2-day period, we didn't have hot water. It was warmish, but not hot. So this place isn't perfect, but for me at least, great design makes up for a lot of shortcomings. The best way to support my self-paid quest to show you the world's best hotels is by subscribing, sharing this video, and booking your next stay with us. Thanks. Next, I'm headed to what's supposed to be Sri Lanka's wildest place to stay. Literally. A luxury tented camp right on the beach in the middle of Sri Lanka's most famous national park. Check out my experience here. Thanks for watching and see us in the next video. The villas are really nice. They get a 9.